Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ehsan Haqqani, and boy oh boy, do I have some good news for you. After the successful conduct of the Champions Trophy 2025, the ICC has reposed confidence in Pakistan and the PCB management. Now, the Women's World Cup qualifiers will be held in Pakistan. Yes, the tournament is going to be scheduled, and I have the details for that, in Lahore from 9th to the 19th of April. That's very good news for Pakistan as a cricketing nation. And for the fans of Pakistan altogether, we're going to be seeing another event go through where it is an ICC event altogether. So good news for Pakistan, good news for the cricket fans, and good news for PCB altogether. We're going to be starting off with what's going to be happening in today's show. Let me tell you the headlines first. Pakistan's tour to New Zealand is there. The practice session happened earlier on in Christchurch. The T20 team is over there. The first T20 will be played in Christchurch on 16th of March. And the ODI series will then begin in Napier. And that will be later on March the 29th. Both the teams looking really positive, and under the captaincy of Salman Ali Agha, Pakistan's T20 team will be going along with Shadab Khan as the vice captain. And then we've got the ODI side that is going to be captained by Mohammad Rizwan himself, the skipper, along with Salman Ali Agha as the vice captain. These are the images from Christchurch where the T20 team was playing during the practice sessions, the batting, bowling, and the fielding. Now, the other news that we have is the Davis Cup. Good news coming from the Davis Cup as the Pakistan's tennis sensations, the youngsters, have faced Indonesia in the final, and now they'll be facing Indonesia in the final after beating Vietnam 2-1 in the semi-finals. So congratulations to all the tennis enthusiasts and Pakistanis all over the world who are looking forward to Pakistan glorifying in tennis yet again after Essam Ul Haq Qureshi's stint. And we'd like to see another player turn up to the level of Essam Ul Haq Qureshi, and that's what we're looking for in the Davis Cup after beating Vietnam, and now we're going to be facing Indonesia in the final. That's going to be setting up the stage for the Pakistanis going on into the tennis world. Then we've got the UEFA Champions League that has some updates where the quarterfinal lineup has been completed with Arsenal that will take on Real Madrid. That's going to be really exciting. Arsenal, a very talented side, along with Real Madrid. Both are the best of their own realms. When you talk about Real Madrid, they're coming off La Liga, and then Arsenal, as we all know, English Premier League sensations. Then Bayern Munich will face Inter Milan, and Barcelona will play against Dortmund, while Paris Saint-Germain, the PSG, will meet in Aston Villa. Now, quickly moving on to our guests now. We've got a cricket commentator with us. We've got somebody who's been in the cricket world for quite some time, has been going on in the UAE, commentating in several events as well. He's been a regular in the Sports Extra team. He is Kurnumal Asif, K. Asif as he's known. Kurnumal, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Haqqani. Hopefully you're doing very well.
Amazing. Always. We've got another guest with us. He's a cricket commentator. He's a cricket analyst, rather. A sports analyst altogether. Knows a lot about football as well. We're going to be talking about football with him later on in the show. But first off, we're going to be introducing him. We've got Mr. Ali Mehdi with us. Ali, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and hope you're well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we start off where we left late last night. That is the T20 series against the New Zealand team. We've seen the New Zealand team come to Pakistan in the ODI series earlier before the Champions Trophy, thrash Pakistan, winning the whole event, and then going on to the semi-finals. A totally different team altogether than what we're going to be seeing in New Zealand, because the T20 series is going to be coming up first. The captain for the series is Salman Ali Agha, and we've been criticizing him for a very long period of time. Now, both the players, the key element of Pakistan, Rizwan and Babar Azam, will not be there. But, Kurnumal, the first question that I have in mind, let's be honest. When we see the series ending up, we might see both of them back in the T20 squad, because next up, next year, is the T20 World Cup.
Well, it's interesting. And to be honest, that you asked me this question where everybody is criticizing on Babar and Rizwan that they didn't play well in ODI, and you have removed him from T20 squad. Earlier, you announced that Mohammad Rizwan will be this the skipper for the shorter format as well. But what happened that you lost several series, or you lost against in Tri-Nation series against New Zealand, then no results from Indian Champions Trophy. now everybody's criticizing. And I have watched a statement from former off-spinner Saeed Ajmal. He was criticizing on the omission of these two players from the T20 squad, and he said that this is not the way you do and you deal with the senior players like Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam. But the question is that if a player who's not performing well, then why you want him into the squad? It's a very simple question. Babar Azam is not performing for a long time in all the formats. Either it's T20, either it's Test cricket, either it's ODI. That was the best time to give him some rest. And you have included him in ODI squad against New Zealand for 3-match series. And once again, a guy like me who's watching this cricket, and I want something betterment in Pakistan cricket, I will raise this question that why not you are dropping him from the ODI as well, because he's not performing there. If you ask me, or if you bring a point that see his ODI ranking still in number 2, number 3, then I will ask question, where is Pakistan? Where is Pakistan standing in the ICC's events? So this Pandora box definitely opened from the Pakistan Cricket Board, and Aqib Javed has given some answers, and I think that we're still looking towards the chairman Pakistan Cricket Board, because he has announced a major surgery, inverted commas, surgery. Still waiting that.
Okay, so we're waiting for surgery, as Kunrumal has said, but a totally different captain altogether, along with a vice captain that we hadn't seen for a while in the T20s. When we talk about the other formats of the game, Ali, the ODI performances that we've recently seen in the Champions Trophy, are they the qualifiers for the T20s as well, given the fact that Asif wants Babar Azam to rest along with Mohammad Rizwan and others to make sure that the others come up, some other talent coming up for the Pakistani team?
Look, the thing is over here is Haqqani Saab, that I think Ki Asif Bhai has said it very well. Look, ODIs and the 50-over format at T20 are a completely different ball game. You cannot compare them. They are completely different. There's no correlation between them. There is nothing similar between them. It just makes absolutely no sense. You have to look at them independently. I hate the fact that you have to compare both of them, because they're two different formats. You have to look, what does the PCB, what do countries target? If you give an example of the Indian Cricket Board, they won the T20 World Cup, they won the 50-over. You have to target each and every competition. Every year there's an ICC event. You have the T20 World Cup, you have the 50-over, then you have another T20 World Cup. Now you have to look at independently. So I think the PCB has done very well to actually drop Babar and Rizwan, because look, Babar and Rizwan have not done much in T20. I can't remember the last time when Babar, or Rizwan for that matter, played a match-winning innings. You need to play a match-winning innings or a standout, consistent, sort of a performance, and unfortunately that hasn't been the case. So I think, justice has been served over here, and the team players they've actually taken, I think, are the correct players. You have to give youth a chance, and look, you have about 1.5 years till the next T20 World Cup, which will be taking place in India and Sri Lanka over there. And so these players, you have to stick with them, these youngsters. And look, Babar and Rizwan, they've seen their time in T20. Unless they don't perform, they should stick to ODIs or Test cricket. If they're not going to perform in that, you have to play on merit basis. Otherwise, when we all come over here on PTV, on this platform, should it be the transmission, should it be the Champions Trophy, should it be the T20, should it be the World Cups, we're going to obviously come with miserable faces. So I think it's very important over here that you have to give proper critique, and you have to give constructive criticism. And I think right now it's well deserved that Babar and Rizwan are not in this. They need rest, and give these youngsters a chance, because they are the future for you.
Well, you talked about justice being served. Let me put another question, Ali. When you talk about justice being served, there's this player who never really performed in the recent T20s, comes back as the vice captain. He's Shadab Khan. How is the justice being served over there?
Look, you have a very good point over there, and I'm glad you raised that point. But if you look at Shadab, he's been working extremely hard. Yes, he's gone through a difficult period. He's gone through lots of ups and downs. If you look at his, he's gone through troughs, and he's got through peaks and troughs over here. But right now, he's actually worked very hard. He's been doing okay in the domestic format. And look, everybody, deserves a chance over here. He's obviously gone through a very difficult time. He's had to work very hard on his game too. And look at his domestic performances, especially in the practice matches. He's performed very well too. Even if I'm not mistaken, in the practice match against Afghanistan, he performed very well over there, even though it was a 50-over format. So let's see how it goes over there. Probably elevating him to that position of vice captainship wasn't right, but then there is nobody with that much experience over there you could give in that position. So we'll have to wait and see, but I just think that, we'll have to see how it goes. But he's been doing okay. Look, at the end of the day, I know it doesn't quantify for this, but look, at least he has done well as a PSL captain. He actually won them. Even though it doesn't quantify.
Well, that's the problem.
I'm coming to you.
Look, Asif, I knew you were going to bring this up, but I think it's very important just to say that you shouldn't quantify over there. But look, he's worked very hard behind the scenes, and he's actually worked on his fitness, and he's doing okay.
Ali, nobody has the answer to what the selection committee does at the end of the day. The chief selector, nobody knows what's happening in the PCB right now on its own. Probably the individuals sitting over there in PCB don't know how to select this team and how to gel up this team. Asif, can you quantify the fact that when we have the ODI team and somebody performs in the ODI, is he eligible to perform in the T20s as well, just because he performed in the ODIs but did not perform in the T20s, given that he performed in the domestic circuit, that too in the ODIs, not in the T20s?
I think it's just an eyewash and manipulating things, bringing some players in T20, robbing some players from ODIs and giving them chances into the T20s. I think it's a mockery. It's not what's going on with the Pakistan cricket. Ali, why I was saying that you were referring once again the captaincy of Shadab Khan, and you were talking about his captaincy in Pakistan Super League. Well, that's the dilemma of Pakistan cricket, that everybody is focusing on the performances of Pakistan Super League, and that's why our cricket is in decline. That's why Pakistan is not performing well in ICC's tournament, because the guys you guys are picking from the Pakistan Super League, whether it be Usman Khan, Azam Khan, Shadab Khan, whoever that is, they're not performing well. So your criteria shouldn't be Pakistan Super League. Ali, that was my point. Now coming back to the Haqqani's question, that who will take the responsibility? That's the big problem, that Pakistan Cricket Board, we haven't seen any resignation from the selection committee. Nobody's coming up and saying, yes, we had selected these players and we'll take this responsibility. Where if Pakistan is losing in ICC's event, yes, we are here and I'm stepping down. Nobody's showing this kind of ethics. Josh Butler resigned right after the ICC Champions Trophy. Steven Smith, he was in the good form, but even then what he said that I won't play ODI. This is called ethics, guys, and this is missing in Pakistan cricket. Why? Because we support these kind of acts in Pakistan Cricket Board. We support these kind of players in Pakistan Super League. We don't ask for the accountability. We don't do accountability. And Ali, the way you're supporting Shadab Khan, give me an answer. What's his performance what's the performance in the recent domestic circuit of Shadab Khan? What he has done extraordinary. You brought him back into the side as a vice captain.
Right. Probably it's the Kudrat ka Nizam that's supporting him. And you know what I'm talking about. Well, some news that was coming up from Christchurch earlier this morning was that the T20 trophy, the T20 Series trophy between Pakistan and New Zealand has been unveiled on Thursday at the Port Hills. Pakistan's top order batter Mohammad Haris, along with New Zealand spinner Ish Sodhi, jointly unveiled the trophy ahead of the 5-match T20 series. Now, Mohammad Haris is that one person, I think, that has the quality of leading Pakistan altogether. When I talk about Mohammad Haris, I get criticism from Kunnumal Asif. I don't know what is wrong with Kunnumal Asif when you talk about it, but I want to go to Ali Mehdi first. Does Ali Mehdi think that Mohammad Haris has it in him to somewhat replace Mohammad Rizwan for the T20s format at least?
Look, if it comes to Mohammad Haris, he did very well in the T20 World Cup in Australia. But ever since then, he was a bit of a flash in the pan. He did very well back then. But you talk about a performance in which he's done well from there. I can't think of any. I don't even know him in the national T20 if he's performed well. So, I mean, to actually bring him back into the limelight, it's you think about, it's like a roller coaster. It's like
same players coming up again and
merry-go-round. Players come and go. Players come and go. Players come. If you don't go on merit, if you don't give them a long run, And if they don't perform on merit, then why are you bringing them back? So Mohammad Haris actually makes no sense for me because he hasn't really done well for the past 2.5 years since that semi-final which he performed very well against New Zealand and obviously against South Africa. He hasn't done well
So
at all.
probably he played well against the New Zealand side. That's the reason why he's been considered.
Can you see what's happening actually? You know, we dropped him and we said that the Pakistan Cricket Board claimed that he is suffering with an injury. Same thing happened with Fakhar Zaman, and he has tweeted with Babar Azam. Then we dropped him and we said that he's suffering with an injury.
Yeah.
And he came up in front of the media. He said that, no, I'm okay, I'm fine, and I'm working hard.
That's controversial.
Controversial, and of course that everyone knows what's going on behind the scene. So thing with the Mohammad Haris, why, see, technically is not good. Once again, I've said this about Usman Khan, I've said this about Azam Khan, same thing with the Mohammad Haris. He has only one shot, and that is the horizontal towards square leg, and that's it. He hasn't
People
improved.
used to say the same about Saima Ayub. That one flick.
He has improved himself, and he has worked on his mistakes. He is not playing that no-look shot. He's playing with the straight bat, and that's why he's performing well. And if you see the stats of Mohammad Haris in first-class cricket, I would like to request you to share with our viewers as well what kind of stats he has in the domestic circuit.
So Mohammad Haris being there with no domestic stats, and then the averages that we have, one person that's leading the team, we talked about him earlier as well, Salman Ali
Domestic,
Agha,
see-
10 as the average in T20s.
When we talk
You,
about...
you made him qualify as the captain for the T20s?
Yes, let me
Is
reply.
that justified?
No. What I'm saying is, see his first-class record, 4-day cricket match.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the 4-day.
How
I'm
can,
not talking about...
how can one person playing in the 4-day cricket or the ODI cricket qualify for the T20s? That's my question. It's a totally different format of the game.
No, it's not completely different. You see Virat Kohli, you see Kane Williamson.
Okay.
You see all the big players. They play all the formats. They don't play only T20s and they don't play only ODIs. They focus especially on the Test cricket. If you're good with your technique, your your basics are good, and if you're playing with the straight bat, you don't play horizontal like Asif Ali or Khushdil Shah all the time towards mid-wicket, even Mohammad Haris, then you can qualify, of course, that your basics are okay. What happened in the final of T20 World Cup, do remember the first 50 deliveries, Virat Kohli scored only 46 runs. But what happened? In next 20 deliveries, he scored well, and he remained the player of the match.
He's a class
that's-
apart.
No, this is the thing there. If you want to become a cricketer, just work on your basics. That's the problem with the Pakistanis.
So
we don't understand the problem. The problem is that if you're not okay with your... Azam Khan was the T20 specialist. What happened with him? Usman Khan was the T20 specialist. What happened with him? Give me an answer.
Okay, so the fact remains that we want consistency in the side, but then again, we are so emotional as a team, as the management, and as a nation that we want changes
Now you are
immediately.
manipulating things. Give me an answer that if Azam Khan, who was the specialist of T20, he didn't perform well. He was so good in the leagues. Same with the Usman Khan. Why? What was the reason?
Probably Azam Khan had his own issues with the fielding in the larger.
I'm talking
interest
about
of-
his batting there.
Yeah, his batting has been superb, but in
His
the other
batting has
international
been
leagues,
superb in
the international leagues, I'm not saying by
So
performing for
that's-
Pakistan.
That's the problem, dear. The leagues and the franchise cricket is not like that. The ICC is not like the international cricket. And
Right.
when they came in the international cricket, they failed badly. So because their basics are not good, their technique is not good.
You're reckoning that we need a major overhauling in the domestic circuit that Pakistan has.
See, the domestic cricket is really important for each and every player. Salman Ali Agha got very good record in 4-day cricket. You brought him as a skipper. Yes, you can argue, you can ask question, you can raise point. But I have asked this question yesterday, that do you have any name apart from him in your mind?
I had Haris, but you've quashed Haris like anything.
That's my choice. I'm talking about you.
Well, Virat Kohli, you can't compare him with Virat Kohli. His
No,
whole
I'm not
team and
saying-
whole setup supports Virat Kohli. Even you can't compare Babar Azam with Virat Kohli and the likes of Virat Kohli, or for that matter, the likes of domestic cricket
I'm
that we
giving
see
you
in India. You
some-
can't compare it right now with domestic cricket in Pakistan.
Kani
please.
Sahab, I'm giving you some supreme examples that they're the best of the business. Why? Because they are very good with their technique. Right now, in the final of the ICC Champions Trophy, who was the player of the match? The skipper Rohit Sharma. Take an example of T20 World Cup's final.
Right.
Why I'm giving you these names? Because they're the best in the business.
All right, so Salman Ali Agha leading the team, then Sadab Khan as the vice captain, and then Abdul Samad along with Abrar Ahmed, Haris Rauf, Hassan Nabaz, along with Jahandad Khan, Khushdil Shah, and then Abbas Afridi in there, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Haris, Muhammad Irfan Khan, Omar bin Yusuf, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Sufyan Muqim, and then Usman Khan. Ali Mehdi, what do you have to say about the team that has been selected for the T20 International that's going to be played in New Zealand? And do you see any of these as big stars that are going to pull through the whole team to victory? Since we always depend on one or two big stars, we don't cater for the whole team. We are always dependent. Who are we dependent upon this time around?
I won't say we're dependent, but I'm just happy with the bowling unit. I hope Muhammad Ali plays. I'm very fond of him. I think he's the sort of bowler you can call for all occasions too, mate. You know, he's a very good bowler over there. He bowls on the right lens. He has a very good record. He's the one, and I think Asif Bhai will agree over there, that he's been probably our best bowler, you know, when it comes to domestic too, and he's the very consistent bowler over. I like Abbas Afridi a lot. I think he's a very good bowler. You know, he works extremely hard. He bowls on the right lens. He is economical compared to the other bowlers too. So I'm actually really looking forward to them. Other than that, Sufyan Muqim, I think he is the one enigma. I'm not too sure he'll be very well suited for conditions in New Zealand, but I think he was a big miss, especially in the recently concluded Champions Trophy in those conditions too. I think he's one we really need to give him time. When you talk about mystery spinners, you talk about players like a Kuldeep Yadav. He is one we really, really need to nurture, need to give him an opportunity. We just can't keep on dropping him and bringing him back. We need to give him a long run over here. Look what's happened over there to India, what they've done to Kuldeep Yadav. You know, they've given him a long run. They've dropped him in between, but he came back stronger, and he was the best bowler against Pakistan in the recently considered Champions Trophy. And even he played very well in the other matches too. So he was absolutely brilliant. We need to really give him a chance, and you know, him along with Abrar will be very good, because you know, look, Abrar, you cannot play him as a single spinner. You need to play another special spinner. Maybe not in New Zealand, but you know, these are the sort of bowlers you need going forward. Muhammad Ali, like I said, Abbas Afridi too. And then obviously at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to the batsman over there, Haris, now that Haris will be playing, they've got a point to prove. They haven't performed very well. People can say they're merited or not, but look, it's them to actually shut their critics. It's them to perform very well. It won't be easy. Playing at Hagley Oval is not an easy task over there. You know, the ball over there, it actually, it carries through, and you know, you've got good bounce over there too. So it's going to test their techniques over there. And we keep on talking about techniques, that it's not, you need their technique in T20. If you don't have technique in T20, you're going to get found out, you know, especially in these important games too. So Hagley Oval, they're playing over there. They're going to play at the Westpac Stadium. They're going to play at Wellington over there. These are very difficult wickets to play, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm really looking forward to the bowling lineup. We'll have to see with the batting, because I'm not very confident about that.
Right. So, not very confident about the batting as always. On the bowling aspect, Kundamal, we've talked about the wickets. The wickets are windy. The wickets are somewhat pace-friendly in New Zealand, as we've seen. Shorter boundaries over there as well. So, you think that Pakistani conditions are very different from the Kiwi conditions, but are Pakistani players going to be able to perform over there?
See, if you talk about the fast bowlers, I think they will enjoy this trip, considering that the bouncy tracks and green pitches, and of course, when we talk about a senior pro like Muhammad Ali, he has plenty of experience in domestic cricket. I've watched him. That the good thing is that he has worked a lot on his Yorkers. So in T20 cricket, you require good Yorkers. We have in international cricket like Jasprit Bumrah, who is so perfect, brilliant with the Yorkers. In the past, if you have watched Lasith Malinga, he was remarkable when we talk about bowling Yorkers in the death overs. So, and then Shaheen Shah Afridi, nobody's talking about that, why we haven't excluded his name, why he's in the squad, what he has done so far, what he's doing from last couple of years. Nobody's talking about his performances. So
what has he done?
This is what I'm asking. What he has done for Pakistan? Nothing.
Right.
So, another name, Abbas Afridi. Once again, you brought him back.
Yeah. Hopefully he will not be rested on the bench this time around.
Yeah, hopefully. We're hoping some good things from Aqib Javed and the company, because Mohammad Yusuf is struggling now. as head coach, but see that you'll take an idea, you'll take some suggestions from the mentors like Mohammad Yusuf that and Abbas Afridi, I could see that he could bowl more than speed with the 140, and his line and length is okay. Please give him some chances and give some rest to Haris and Shaheen Shah Afridi, because Shaheen Shah Afridi and Mohammad Haris Rauf, I beg your pardon, both of this duo is playing for a long time for Pakistan. So let's try some new guys. They were good in the domestic circuit. I'm talking about especially Muhammad Ali. He has been performing for the last 2-3 years, and his line and length, when we talk about, once again, I'm referring this point, and I'll definitely ask you guys if he will be the part of the squad, and if he'll play the first or second T20s. Definitely we'll discuss his abilities, the way he has improved himself, especially in white ball cricket as well.
Surely, Kulnamal, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be talking about this more as we go on to this very important series, the T20s first and the ODIs, and that would be that how it is. But we're going to be moving towards the very interesting part now. We've been talking about it earlier as well, and that is the UEFA Cup. The UEFA Cup is going on right now, and the sports that most of the people watch and are very interested in is the UEFA Champions League. The quarterfinal lineup that has completed, where Arsenal will take on Real Madrid. The Bayern Munich will face the Inter Milan, and Barcelona will play against Dortmund. Paris Saint-Germain will meet Aston Villa. If you talk about the current standings over here, I think it's going to be easy pickings for Paris Saint-Germain. That will meet Aston Villa. On the other hand, Barcelona playing against Dortmund. I think Barcelona is going to take it. Bayern Munich will face Inter Milan. Bayern Munich takes it, I think. But Arsenal versus Real Madrid, that is where it's going to be interesting, Ali Mehdi.
I mean, what a fascinating lineup in the road to Munich 2025. You know, the final taking place in Munich 2025. The last time it took place over there, Bayern Munich lost to Chelsea at penalties way back in 2025, when actually Didier Drogba actually helped Chelsea win their first Champions League win.
Way back in
2012, sorry.
Right.
So, I mean, that was a very historic scene. But now if you look at it, 13 years later, you've got an extremely incredible lineup over there right now, to, like you just mentioned, where I think if you look at the quarterfinal lineup, the creme de la creme has to be Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Arsenal versus Real Madrid has a lot of history over there. Arsenal actually beating PSV actually 9-3 on aggregate. So they are going into the this competition with a lot of flair, with a lot of confidence. But the thing over here is that this Essen, that they are coming up against 15-time champions Real Madrid. Real Madrid are made for this competition. They drink this competition like soup. They absolutely love this, and they've won in the past 10 years. They've won about this competition about 6 times. 6 times they've won this competition, so they know this competition inside out. You have to be a different breed when you come against Real Madrid. They actually they huffed and puffed their way by beating Atletico Madrid on penalties. Some would say it's controversial, but they've got it through. And when they come into the knockout stage, they are a dangerous team. They've got the likes of Vinicius Jr., they've got Kylian Mbappe, who we talked about if you remember, in the 2022 World Cup. How can we forget, when he was absolutely brilliant? He has won everything. He has not won the Champions League. He came to Real Madrid to win the Champions League. That's what he wants to do. So he's like a different breed of fish. And now that you're in the quarterfinals, he now spells blood. And now he's coming up against Arsenal. I think he's also, he is really, really looking fired up for this one. But if you look at the other matches too, we want to talk about Aston.
I'll stop you over there. I want to talk about Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Big rivalry, Real Madrid coming from the La Liga and then Arsenal coming from the English Premier League. Both are the best of the lot. That's the reason why they're in the UEFA. So Real Madrid, every single time, you think, when you talk about the ratings and the rankings of the players, Real Madrid is clearly a tad bit better than the Arsenal team, don't you think?
They're way ahead of Arsenal. Arsenal, there's no comparison. I mean, they've got world-class players, they've got world-class facilities, they play at the highest level too. But the thing over here is that this is the Champions League, and whilst it's a David versus Goliath competition, Essen, the thing over here is that Real Madrid had to really work very hard to beat Atletico Madrid. Their
On
neighbours-
penalties.
On penalties.
And that's a shocker for the team because that loses confidence every time you go into the penalties, right?
Yeah, indeed, but they've got through, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Arsenal went through, but they're coming against the Giants, who they haven't beaten. They haven't made the semi-finals since 2009, when Cristiano Ronaldo destroyed them, and then ever since then, they've never been able to make the semi-finals of the Champions League, and we've till since 2009. So I would say right now that Real Madrid are favorites, but look, if Arsenal come and they play Real Madrid like a Real Madrid team, then they're not going to find out. They play their own football. Who knows? This is the Champions League. So, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Let's move towards the next match that we have lined up. That is Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan. I reckon Bayern Munich is a very tough team coming into the competition against Inter Milan. What do you have?
Look, they're the dark horses. People are not saying much. Bayern Munich are under the radar. They want to play at their home ground. They want to play the final in 2025 in Munich. They still are scarred from that loss from Chelsea in 2012 when they could not win in front of their own fans in their home city. They want to make the final, and they're in scintillating form. They destroyed they destroyed the Bundesliga champions Leverkusen 5-0. Harry Kane is on fire over there. I think coming up against Inter Milan are the champions of Serie A. They beat Feyenoord, but wait a minute, they are coming up against a very hot team in Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have Harry Kane over there, they have Sané over there, Musiala over there, they've got Neuer over there, they've got an incredible team. I cannot see any team beyond Bayern Munich going through this.
Okay, moving on to the next competition, that's going to be Barcelona against Dortmund. I reckon Barcelona is a stronger team over there. What do you have?
Barcelona are clear favorites over here. I think they're playing incredible. Rafinha's on fire. He's been brilliant. He's been scintillating. He's carried this team along with Lamine Yamal and along with Robert Lewandowski, the Polish striker. They're finding form. They were started very poorly, but now under their coach, the German coach Flick, they're doing absolutely brilliant. They're winning in La Liga. They're doing very well over here. I think they are also have a real shout. And against the runners-up of last year, I think they are going to be a clear favorites to beat Borussia Dortmund.
Borussia Dortmund, okay. Next up, we've got Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. I think they're the favorites to win the UEFA Cup. They will meet Aston Villa. Who do you have? I've got PSG all the way.
Look, PSG are clear favorites over here, and PSG managed to dump the Premier League, leaders, Liverpool. They removed Liverpool on penalties over here. Nobody gave them a chance. But PSG, who've not been able to make the final since 2020 when they lost to Bayern Munich, they were actually, they managed to beat Liverpool. And beating Liverpool is a huge scalp, who at this moment I think are one of the best teams in the world, club teams in the world. So for them to win, great confidence. But the thing is, they're coming up against an Aston Villa team who actually, I would say, you cannot rule them out. They've actually been transformed with the signings. They've brought Asensio, they've brought Manchester United's on loan Marcus Rashford, they've got Ollie Watkins, Morgan Rogers over there. They are doing extremely well, but I think PSG have got this discipline, and with Luis Enrique over there, I think they're going to edge this through.
Well, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League all itself. How many leagues do qualify for the Champions League, and then tell the viewers about the top leagues that are in the play for the UEFA Champions League, and one emerges victorious like we've seen altogether. Let's get a rebound of the UEFA Champions League from you, Ali.
Look, if you talk about the UEFA Champions League, like there are three competitions in UEFA. You talk about the Champions League, then you talk about the Europa League, which is coming on screen right now. Then you've got the Conference League of it. Champions League is the best competition, European competition in the world, club competition in the world. The winners of that actually go to play the Club World Cup. But do not rule out the Europa League over here. Europa League, as it's being showed on the screen over here, as in it's a very prestigious competition too. And if you talk about that competition, you've got the quarter-final lineups over there, and in the quarter-finals over there, you've got Manchester United, the great Manchester United, who've been going through the dumps, who've been absolutely horrible in the league, 12-13. They're playing against Lyon. They got through Real Sociedad. They'll be playing in the quarter-finals too. And other than that, you've got Rangers playing against Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao, they want to play at home because they want to play in the final at home, which will be played in Bilbao at the end of May. And then on the other side, so it's going to be very interesting who's going to go through from that quarter. But then on the other side, you've got Spurs, who are taking the reigning champions and Frankfurt over there, the German team Frankfurt, they're a very good team. Spurs are a very good team with Son and with the likes of, you've got Solanke over there. They've done it extremely well, but then at the end of the day, you've got Lazio over there, who've also got a very good they've also got a good chance of actually making it through to the semi-finals. So this is a very prestigious competition too. And the important thing is over here, Elson, that the Europa League is so important because if you're not doing well in your leagues, respective leagues, if you win this competition, which teams like United, Manchester United, Spurs want to do, even Frankfurt want to do, if you win this and you're not doing well in the league, that gives you direct automatic qualification into the Champions League. So I mean, it is like a pot of gold. You win this competition, you have a shot at the Champions League next season, and hey, at the end of the day, you win the prestigious Europa League. So I think it's a very good competition, along with the Champions League, which takes the cake.
Right, so the Champions League is like the king of the crown of all of the European leagues over here. The Champions League, when we focus on the Champions League, coming back to the fact that Arsenal and Real Madrid are over there along with Bayern Munich, that's going to be facing Inter Milan, and then Barcelona will be playing Dortmund, and Paris Saint-Germain will meet Aston Villa. Who's your pick to finally go and grab the cup?
It has to be Real Madrid. I mean, you talk about Real Madrid, 6 times champions over the past 10 years. They did it in 3 different eras. That's the most important thing. They did it in the Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Benzema. Then they do it post that reign when Benzema helped them win. And then 2024 with Vinicius Jr., they won it too. So the thing is, they're winning it in different eras. And with Carlo Ancelotti over there, with so much experience over there, you know, they have to be favorites. And the thing over there is, SN, is they take the league seriously, but they don't take it as seriously as Champions League. They go to war when it comes to the Champions League. They will do anything to win it. So they are the favorites, but one team I would say don't rule out, and I mean it, don't rule out, is Bayern Munich. They want to make that final again. And if a fitting final would be Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena, that would be probably the match and highlight of the year.
That would be the highlight of the year. So Ali Mehdi clearly picking Real Madrid for the UEFA Champions League. Thank you, Ali Mehdi, for joining us in Sports Extra. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be keeping you updated with all the news regarding sports throughout the world. All you have to do is log on to our website. That's world.p2e.com.pk. Our social media handles are also over there, keeping you updated all throughout. When you talk about Instagram, when you talk about Facebook, talk about TikTok even, we're already there. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share each and every moment of how the sports goes on in Sports Extra. This is Ehsan Haqqani signing off. Till next time, Allah Hafiz.